Welcome to project file breakdowns for the Trackmaker EP, so you can see how it was made. Personally, I don't find this process too exciting or interesting, but I know some people really get a kick out of seeing how I make my music. So here it is. This is, holy cow. So first of all, it's been like at least a month since I opened this project file, so I don't remember much about it. I totally forgot that I did this. So this project file is kind of laggy because all of my drum samples I just copy pasted, which is fine, but like, look at how many samples there are going on for the drums. Why did I do this? What you're supposed to do, okay, what you're supposed to do, right? Look at this shake loop up here, right? What you're supposed to do is consolidate. You go like this, and you just glue all these samples together. Like that. Now this is just one big sample that I can drag around like this. See? And now I just kind of copy paste it like that. It's way fewer samples. It saves on your CPU, whatever. Anyways, the process is the same either way. It's just an extra step to glue it all. Would have been worth it. I don't know why I didn't do that. Anyways, here's the drums. Holy cow, what do I even talk about? I don't know how to do project breakdowns. Here's what the drums sound like on their own, I guess. Okay, so I've got all of the drums running through a limiter, except for the kick transient, which I've pulled out to add some punch to the kick. That's not the whole kick, that's just the top part. The bottom part sounds like that. So I'll play them together. It's a fuller sounding kick. Okay, here's the bass. There's no bass for this song because, I don't know, Organic House doesn't really need a bass line for the most part, so. That's pretty much it for the bass. I've just got a kick playing, and then there's this bass hit that just sometimes plays. That's all it really needs. You don't want to throw in like some big greasy bass line like I normally like to do, but not for this genre. Then I've got the top percussion. Got this sick shake playing. This ride that only plays at certain parts. This kind of flam sound that leads into the clap. And the clap is also split into two halves. And then there's this complex percussion pattern going on. Just all sorts of random little noises that I just dragged in. I've got it all running through a filter to help leave room for the kick drum and other elements in the song. There's it, there's your drums. Let's see, then I've got of course, you've got the fauna vocals. There's, first of all, there's just the dialogue itself.
It feels like he has everything figured out for him, and
just running through a really heavy compressor, some basic filtering, and then an imager to help pull it out of the center channel a bit. And then there's...
That's kind of just how it is.
That's just pulled out and echoing. That's pretty much that. And then my effects. This is a pretty simple project file. Not too complex until we get to the melodics anyways. I've just got a basic kind of riser downlifter happening. From some white noise generated from the basic oscillator. And then some nice birds. Okay, here's your melodics. Here's all the fun stuff happening up here. Honestly, if I play these on their own, they almost just sound like a nice ambient song. Like, it sounds pretty solid and full without, like, the drums or anything else. So here's your step one, I guess. Haunting pad, I called this. So this is whatever this wave is, plus whatever this wave is. It's so stupid. I've got nothing to say because I don't even remember my own project file. I did this forever ago. It's hard limited, pretty heavy filtering, reverb directly on the sample. Or the noise, and then I've got a utility plugin that's literally not even being used. I guess I just put it here in case I need to do some volume adjustment, but I didn't need to, so it's just sitting there doing nothing. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, there's this marimba. Very nice. This is literally just a sound from the Ableton library. I didn't even try with this one. I just dragged this in straight from the library and then cut out some lows and said, yep, sure, it's a marimba. Good enough. What is this sound? I have no idea. Okay. Pretty darn simple, nothing to it, just some more basic waves and some basic filtering and some reverb and you're good to go. Warm glow, what is this? Very dead mousy sounding pads. If I took the compressor here and I made this way harder, make some pretty easy dead mouse. Bass. What is this? Oh, okay, I forgot I do have a little sub pattern playing at some point. Okay, I don't know, I just forgot about this, I guess. I forgot there was sub in this song. That's how long it's been since I looked at this. Pulse synth. Wow, look at that, more of the same. Basic wave, plus basic filtering, plus some side chaining, plus reverb. And just rinse and repeat 10 times until you have enough melodic layering to justifiably call it unique or interesting. Wow, look at this. This is just a regular old sawtooth. Basic filter and delay. Oh, nice. String pad, where does this come in? Okay, this is just a sample I grabbed. And I do specifically remember I went in and I had to transpose this one. But it's playing at like the same frequency as some other elements, so you barely even hear this in the song. I just thought it just barely added to the progression, just enough. Reverse piano sample. Can you even hear this in the song? I think honestly this is one of the first samples I put in when doing my melodic layering, and by the time I put everything else in, you can't even hear this. If you listen to the full How It Is song, you can't even hear this. Just barely, anyways. Piano. This is, again, just straight from the Ableton sound library because I no longer have a piano synth since reinstalling Windows and all that. So I haven't reinstalled the VST I used to use for piano just because it's just a pain. I just don't feel like it. Ableton comes with a piano. So I just decided to use that. It's much more lightweight as well. Again, just basic filtering, some basic delay, easy peasy. Ether pads, just some more samples. This is from a Fox Stevenson sample pack. Nice full sound. I don't know what chord that is. Some crazy 7ths and 9ths going on. I thought, yeah, sure, that's nice. Fauna pads, here we go. This is, don't tell anybody, but these are some vocals from Fauna that I decided to use for some additional melodic layering. So those like kind of vocal tones that you hear going on are actually just resampled from Fauna's stream. Kind of sounds like Fauna. It's kind of hard to tell, but now that I've told you it's Fauna, you can kind of hear it. Bell, what is this? Okay. I don't know why this only plays in the first half of the song and not the second half. Maybe I just forgot to copy paste this over. I guess I just forgot. Like I wrote this part of the song and then when I made the second half and I was copying elements over, I guess I just forgot about the bell. So for some reason that only plays in the first half of the song. But I guess it doesn't really matter because I didn't notice when I was working on it, so I guess it wasn't that important. It's important to the first half, but the second half doesn't feel empty without it, so it doesn't really matter. Keyboard. Okay, another piano, I guess. Just brighter and more synthesized. And finally some sleigh bells. There it is, there's the whole song. How about that? Very simple. Alright, next up we got Shishiro Dub, Ms. Botan. Actually, we'll start right at the top and we can hear the vocals. So I've gone and ran the vocals through a lot of elements in this song. I ran through some echoing and reverb and delay and stuff to just add some really heavy atmosphere because that's pretty integral to the genre that I was going for. You can see I sampled a Besiege stream for the vocals. I don't even know what she's saying here. Didn't matter to me what she was saying because really I just needed vocal texture, the sound of Botan speaking. Doesn't really matter what she's saying. And yeah, I went for the Besiege stream because I know that game is pretty light on the music. So there's just some like sound effects and stuff. So it makes for pretty good sampling. So this main channel is just compression and filtering, but all of this is run through additional compression, echoing, more echoing, more echoing. To add a whole bunch of room tone. And then there's also this sample here. I took a sound of Botan from the stream, then dropped it into Melodyne and pitched it around, kind of auto-tuned it a little bit to make like some kind of vocal chant sound to add to the melodic layering. I'm really tired right now, by the way. I've just been cleaning all day, getting ready for a move. So frankly, I'm just tired, so I'm kind of struggling here, but I'm doing my best because I want you guys to see, because at least one of you wanted to see this, so I thought, well, why not? I don't have a reason to say no. Listen to that. That's genuine, authentic feedback loop happening. Because of the effects that I've used and the way I've stacked them. There's like actual feedback loops happening in this song. Oh, this is the Hammond doing this. Really? Okay. Alright, so first up there's... Oops, what is this here? Okay, this is the main melody. Very nice. This is just a single sound that I pulled out, I guess. Can I, if I go, where is it? Here? Yeah, here we go. Here's the original sample. That's the original samples. I just chopped off the beginning and wrote my own melody instead. With, obviously, again, more like delays and stuff. Then I've got this single guitar hit. So that's only hitting once, and then I've just run it through some delays. Then there's the Hammond. Most pleasing sounding organ in the world. I just haven't hit that one time, and then again, the way I've got my my echoes stacked, it's creating actual feedback. But then I just cut it off so that the feedback doesn't ring through the whole song, but it rings out for a little bit. It's good. Bleep chord. Just a square wave, playing a little arp. And then I did another arp. This is, I think, a sample. Yeah. So there's a sampled arp and my own arp. That's what they sound like together. Very nice. Then we've got a pad. Very good. I did the pitching myself, but yeah, this is just a sample run through some basic processing again. A flanger, room tone, filtering, sidechain compression, additional reverb. And I got whatever this is. Oh yeah. This is a kick drum that I frequency shifted really high and then filtered and threw some delay on. So the original sample is... That's the original sample, and I just made it sound like this. It's pitched up too, isn't it? No, that's just the original. Just abusing the high end left in that kick drum to just make something weird. Bass line. So the original sample is this. And I just wrote my own melody instead. And then there's just this. Very cool. Alright, where's my drums at? Kick drum, basic filtering. Snare drum, basic filtering with an auto filter to filter it out at some point. Oh, it's for the build, right. Yeah. Then I got the hat loop. with, alright, I took out all the side content. Because I didn't like it. And then did some reverse compression, some bit crushing, and then frequency shifting to add stereo information back. And then filtered out all the low end. It's pretty weird. I wonder what the original sample was. Right. And then I got that out of it. Much brighter and cleaner. Just a slowed down shaker. Slowed down, pitched down shake. Does anyone care about the drums? This is probably pretty boring. I'll just blast through it all because I don't really know what else to say. It's the same thing over and over. Just dropping in samples, there was some basic filtering and sometimes some like pitching around or some other effects to just make them more personal and unique to the song. Some drum rolls. Wait. Very good. Actually, I had to make that one myself by stitching together a couple drum rolls. Okay. Very nice. And then finally a clave. There you go. And then the bass, which is 99% just this. This is just an 808 sample from a Z-Bias UKG sample pack, I think. That I sidechain to the kick, filter out some high end. Used to sound very fuzzy. Took the fuzz out, then added my own distortion. Used to sound like this. You can barely even tell. There's almost no difference. And then lastly, there's just this wub sound that plays. Which is a sample that I just pitched up really high, I think. Right? Yeah, it's that sample. And just pitched up really high. Okay, there's Shishiro Dub. Pretty simple stuff. I always tell people this, man. Less is more, man. Less is more. Like, look at this. You're never gonna see a song of mine that has like more than 30 channels, pretty much. I mean, I don't know, maybe 40 channels. You're never gonna see me use 40 channels for a song. This is and like including grouping just for organization purposes. This is 28 channels, right? Like I'm not even utilizing the bass group. I just have this for organization purposes. The drums group, the melodics group, and the botan group I actually do. So that's, what is that, 25. This is 25 channels, this whole song. Alright, here's Trackmaker. This is the longest song in the EP, but it's just because I've got this big, like, it takes 3 minutes to get to the drop. Just because I wanted to do this thing where I really slowly evolve the intro. I don't know, it's pretty excessive. But I don't know, I just felt like it. I thought I'm just gonna make a really long intro for once, because I feel like it. So I did. So, first of all, I've got a whole channel dedicated just to effects, or a whole group rather. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 channels apparently dedicated just to effects because the genre calls for it. To be fair though, I do have this in here, and this is melodic, so I don't know why this is in the effects group. Yeah. Let me put this up there. Put it where it belongs. Oh wait, I'm actually processing the melodics differently from the effects. That's why I put this down here. Okay. Well, anyway, so here's your... whatever this is. It's just a sample I found and liked and... What's the original? That's the original sample. I just really heavily filtered it. And slowed it down considerably as well. To add some weird like stuttering artifacting. There's just a noise layer that's playing throughout the entire song. You even hear that? You probably can't even hear that, it's very quiet. But it's just white noise playing under the whole song. This nice laser that also plays for the entire song. This is my own pattern that I just consolidated again. The original, yeah, isn't even going to be in the effects browser because I... Is it this here? Yeah, that's the one. Took that and then... Yeah. Anyways... Filtered acid. This is the... Yeah, never mind. That's basically nothing. That's just something from the melodics that I took and threw down here for the build. Then there's this. Which is a riser that I pitched up 30 semitones with a weird algorithm to just make it sound really weird. Plus some frequency shifting and flanging. So that... I can't even imagine what the original sounds like. What did this used to sound like? Apparently that. And I made that. Cool. Generic white noise riser. What is this? What did this used to sound like? That, apparently. It always surprises me. It's funny, like, you'd think I'd know my own songs. I really don't. I make everything in such a haze, and then I forget about the entire process a couple days later, and it's now been a couple weeks since I made this, so at least a couple weeks. So I have no memory of this. Apparently I listened to this sample, and I thought, screw it, I'm gonna put it in the song and turn it into something else. And so I turned it into this. Okay, I've, again, no memory of doing any of this. Just some impacts, I guess. Generic stuff. Wobble tone, what is this? Dare I search this? What did this used to sound like? Apparently that. Apparently, again, I listened to that and I was like, alright, let's put it in and turn it into something else. And I sure did. Let's see. We got our vocals down here. Why not? Let's head on over to Gura, who has been, let me guess, heavily compressed.
I'm not a track.
Oh, right. Actually, no, she hasn't been. I think I did heavily compress her at some point. Yeah, right here, because of all the melodic layering going on. But in general, actually, I wanted the dynamic range in her voice. But for once, I didn't do compression. Heavy vocal compression.
Let me get that out of the way.
Volume.
I am not
Filtering.
Trackmaker.
Delay.
The percussion.
A flanger.
The buttons, and you make the
More delay.
the 808s and the hi-hat. That's right. That's the 808, right? The really low, like.
And there's this sample that plays later in the song.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Very good. And then I've also sampled another sample.
Check it. Now check it.
A certain rapper
Hot, 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 hot.
you may or may not recognize and is going to go unnamed for legal reasons. Here's the Melodics grouping, which basically disappears as soon as the drop hits. This is mostly just stuff for the build. So there's this. So this looks like it's all samples. Me just dragging stuff in and reversing it and pitching it and doing whatever I gotta do to make it my own. Okay, this is the only thing that's not a sample. I generated some basic wave, distorted, EQ'd, reverb, volume. Stack all of that together to make something much fuller. Very nice. Let's see, then we've got, so there's this the main siren. Again, what on earth did I even sample for this? Okay, apparently I sampled a fart. That's what that sounds like. Just a little bass shot. I turned into this. Just by screwing with it, apparently. Okay, then we got our main little acid basses here. Oh, that's cool, look at this. This is, what is this? I just slowed down a bass sample a whole bunch, I guess. And then I'm like transposing it up. But because of the warp method, it's also playing samples as it's raising in pitch at a faster rate. That's kind of cool. That, I guarantee you that was by accident. There's no way I intentionally did that, but that's cool. Man, I'm sorry, guys, that I don't have any more insight into the production process. I just forget my own music. I'm very, very forgetful. Again, if you watch me regularly, you watch my live streams, or you know me, you know that I'm very forgetful. But here we're seeing it on full display, because I'm looking at my own creations, and I don't recognize what I'm looking at. Okay, cool. Just some more samples, I guess. And then drums, which are much simpler than usual. The reason it's so simple, I guess, is just because I've got drums running through a what do you call this again? A drum rack? Yeah, I got them running through a drum rack this time. Unlike usually where I just drop samples in directly. This time I ran them all. Oh right, it's because I just grabbed the 808 drum kit that comes with Ableton. That's why, so I could just have the actual 808 drum kit. Because why bother finding individual samples when it just comes together like that anyways? I guarantee you can't even hear that hi-hat under the break. That's so funny. Apparently I wrote a whole hi-hat pattern in the 808 kit and you can't even hear it. Yeah, this is all you hear. It's just this. What is this crap? You can't even hear this. Okay, well, wasted effort, I guess. Then here's the break. These are two different breaks put together. There's this one. Which is, by the way, a custom break. The original sounded like... I don't know, is it even here? Nope, that's still the editing that I did. Where's like the actual original sample, I wonder? There it is. That's what that used to sound like. So just lots of heavy editing. I've got, what, 4 compressors, reverse compressors, stacked on top of each other. Filtering, then actual compression on top of all that, I guess. And then sidechain compression. Then I drop the volume, and then run it through stereo imaging. And then I've got this filter that comes on occasionally to filter out specifically the scream, because it occupies such a thin space in the frequency spectrum. And then I've got this. Just a basic shuffle that's playing underneath the break. Oh yeah, and then there's this. Just a little bit of additional complexity. Then I've got all of that running through my master chain, but I've gone and instead of putting that on the master channel, I've added that to a group instead, specifically so I can play this extra kick transient on top of the master. Just to help the kick pop just a wee bit more. Alrighty, Crony Techno is the name for this project file, but later called just Techno God. So this is Crony up top here, Melodic's here, and then the drums. Might as well start with Crony, who's apparently gone through a lot of processing on top. Wow, that's a lot of processing. I don't remember doing all that. So I've got just Sacrifice sitting in its own channel.
Sacrifice.
Just some basic filtering. But this master channel, what do I have here? So I've got the RX8 voice denoise. And I've specifically tuned this to get rid of the sound of the power washer in Power Wash Simulator, because the water just blasts and it's just annoying. No, that's not what it was. Never mind. I tried doing that and then I couldn't do it because the power wash is too strong. So I was only able to sample times from the stream where she wasn't blasting the power washer. But in game, in Power Wash Simulator, there is actual background noise playing depending on the environment that you're in, and the level that she was doing that I sampled all this from was outside, so there's this outdoors background noise playing all the time when she's talking, even if there's no other sound effects happening. There's just this kind of looping. It's like the sound of wind and grass and birds and stuff. So I've got a denoise that I've tuned specifically to get rid of that atmosphere. At least for the most part, it gets rid of it. It helps a lot. Then I've got a filtering to get rid of sub-frequencies that were just getting in the way. Then I've got an EQ to get rid of all of the side content, the stereo content, because obviously the girls stream in mono. I mean, they're supposed to stream in mono, but I swear some of the girls stream with ASMR mics sometimes, and it's really annoying. Like Fauna, I hate that. It's just so annoying, and it's annoying if I want to sample it because it just basically becomes unusable. Then I've got a delay. By the way, again, this is all applied to like all of the vocals. This rhythmic delay, hard limiting, distortion, another echo effect, stereo imaging again. This is to add... No, this is to get rid of even more width. So we're going super mono, I guess. More volume adjustment, and then this is like my auto filter for builds and stuff. So anyways, yeah, Sacrifice is its own channel.
Sacrifice.
Then Techno God is its own channel.
Techno. 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 Techno.
With a flanger, basic filtering, again, it was kind of lifting up for the riser. Then I've got that pushed through a clipper and stereo imaging, which is cranking the width up all the way. But then I've got that imaging on the actual group channel that's reducing that stereo width by a bit. So that's probably why I cranked this up to 100, because it's being cranked back down to 50 on the group channel. I don't know why I did that. I guess that's just how I did it. And some additional rhythmic delay that plays sometimes, I guess.
Techno, 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 techno god.
And I'm pretty sure later in the song... Nope, never mind. It's all just Techno God. Okay, and then I guess that's what the extra channel is here. This is for additional vocals.
Thank you for the blessing. I take sacrifices.
Okay, our Melodics channel. This is not too dense. There's the bass synth, of course. This is the big fat boy that comes for the second drop. It's a bit too phasey, but I don't know how to fix that. That's just how it is. I don't know. I think that's just the problem with Wavetable, the synth I use. I'm not sure. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Probably a mix of both. And then I've got distortion and reverb and OTT and basic filtering and I think that's just a more EQing for the riser. Small impact. Okay, that's pretty much exactly what it is. It's just small impact, distortion and filtering. Right, here's the main stab that plays throughout almost the whole song. Which is just a sample, I guess, with some filtering, so can't take too much credit for that. It's this sound here. Yeah, that's pretty... I didn't really do anything to that. I just dragged that in and liked how it sounded immediately. It was already the right pitch and everything. Just a riser. It's just white noise. Of course it's just white noise. All my risers are just white noise. Weird. That sounds kind of phasey too. Tonal riser. Okay, never mind. I did have some tonal riser. Oh yeah, I do remember this. Okay, cool. Metal ambience. What is this? Oh yeah, right. This plays just during the middle section. I just thought it sounded a little empty, so I just threw in a bunch of random noises, and then did a bunch of random crap on top to just make them sound weird, I guess. Random ambience. Oh yeah, this is also for the exact same reason, just to add to the density of the middle section. Just random samples. That I'm pushing through a weird processing chain. Okay, cool. And then here's this rhythm that I made using random percussion. I don't know what the original samples were. Probably like 6 or 7 samples I just stuck together to make an interesting loop and then processed together and then consolidated to save me some CPU. For some reason those aren't in the drums channel. I don't know why. Drums channel consists of course, our kick drum. And that is a big boy. Listen to that. Pretty happy with that kick drum. That is a kick that I made by putting together 2 other kicks, I think. And then once I did that, I looped it and consolidated it and then did additional processing by throwing on this cymatics plugin, and I just dragged this excite knob all the way to 100, but I thought it wasn't enough, so I just duplicated it, so it's actually at 200%. Just took out a little bit of the low end because it's just a bit too heavy in the sub, and then pushed through a clipper And then there's also a transient that plays. Together they make it for a pretty solid techno kick, I think. Bass stab. What is this? Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like a bass rhythm playing. I forgot about that. Just again, just something I'm sure I edited a bunch and then processed and then consolidated separately to save on CPU, so you can't see how I made the sound, but even after I was done, I guess I decided I wanted to do more of it by pushing it through a saturator, EQing it for some resonance, and then stereo imaging. What is this group here? Top. Yeah, just all your hi-hats. Cool. It's got a whole dedicated cymbal group for this song. Clap, which isn't playing a house rhythm because we're playing techno, so this clap actually just is like an interest piece. Just does that every once in a while. And then I've got the build snare, which is doing that for the builds. Then for the middle build, it's just going crazy. And then finally, the ambience loop that I made by just, again, stacking samples. There's this. Kind of just sounds like white noise, basically, panning between the two ears. There's this, which I'm sure used to sound absolutely nothing like this. Can I find the original sample? Okay, pretty similar still. No, never mind, that's consolidated. That's after editing. Okay, well then I have no idea what the original sample was. More like just noise. It's kind of cool. Oh yeah, then I've got this noise here. You can't hear that too well, but it's there, just doing its thing quietly at certain points, and that's I guess that's Techno God. And finally, we come to okay. Work in progress title was Ina Tech, because all I knew was I wanted some Ina deep tech. Okay, so this one's definitely probably the most complex song on the EP. Definitely one of the most complex songs I've ever made, just because of the percussion. This drum group is nonsense, dude. All the drums playing at the same time. That's not even the kick drum, too. The kick drum's up here. What the heck is this filtering? What did I do to this kick drum? What the heck is that? I don't know what I did to that kick. Anyways. Yeah, so this entire drum channel, I've just filtered out everything below 500 hertz. Makes it sound like it's playing through a phone. Our snare drum consists of, again, two samples. There's the like main hit, and then there's this tail, so that it kind of plays longer than it's supposed to. Sounds kind of phasey too. It's a cool sound. And yeah, just all the top percussion is just sitting in its own group. So, where do I even start with this? So there's the interest group. This is just on its own. This probably could have been like 10 different channels. I just kept them all in one channel because they were all being processed the same way. with the stereo imaging, the sidechain to the snare drum, and then I don't know, I guess sometimes there's this. What is this? I don't know what that is. Just an extra filter that plays sometimes. It's funny because without the other drums, they're just random samples playing at random times. There's no rhythm to it at all. Oh yeah, and then for some reason, I have these playing in the same channel. I don't know why this wouldn't be in the Melodics channel. For some reason, I dragged them in the interest channel in the percussion group. Very strange. Weird laser. What is this? It's not that weird. That's kind of just what a laser sounds like. Don't know what makes it weird. I love I'm just critiquing my own project files because I'm looking at these project files like someone that's never seen them before just because I don't remember them myself. Cool, a hi-hat. Got nothing to say there. Top hat loop. Right. So these are two different hi-hats. One is an open hat playing on the upbeats, and the other one's just a closed hat playing every single beat. Or what do you call those? 16th notes, I think? 8th notes, 16th notes? I'm not sure which one. But the one's playing kind of in the left ear, and the other one's kind of playing in the right ear. So they complement each other. I like that. There's this ride that comes in sometimes. Then I got this main break that plays throughout the whole song pretty much. And it plays alongside this. Which is again just some weird processing that I got from a totally unrelated sample. Here's the original sample. Okay. Some weird drum break. And then I guess I got this. Then I decided I would play that with this. It's pretty great. I just can't believe my mind thought to do that. Like, what was I thinking? I don't know why I did any of this, but it works fantastically. So don't ask me how the songwriting process happens. I apparently just black out and then I wake up 3 days later and a song's been made. That might as well be how it happens, because I couldn't tell you the mindset that went into any of this because I don't remember any of this happening. Cool, whatever that sound is. Pretty iconic though, so good sound. Can I check the original on this one or no? Not really, because that was after processing, so I have no idea what the original was. And I've got just an 808 snare that plays sometimes. And then crash cymbal, whoop-de-doo, who cares? Oh yeah, I got a cowbell that plays for most of the song too. And there's this sound here. It's also just rolling through the whole song, which is under some reverse compression, some heavy frequency shifting, some heavy auto filtering. Sorry, what? That's an auto filter that's not being automated, so it's just a regular filter. So why did I use an auto filter? What even is this? What? Wait a minute. I've got an auto filter posting this huge resonance boost at 100 hertz. And then I've got an EQ that's cutting out everything below 360 hertz. What was I thinking? What is this? What? How does that even work? Oh, I see what's happening. It's automated, but you can't see it moving because it's happening with an LFO. Ugh, whatever. I hate that I don't even know what's happening in my own song. It's so goofy. Alright, anyways, there's the drums. That's like most of the song, honestly. Here's Ina doing her Ina thing.
Okay,
ever okay? If I say I'm okay, then you should be more worried.
So this is a chorus effect to add some like stereo sound to it, I guess. Basic filtering, reverb, extremely heavy compression, and some hard limiting as well. So this is...
If I say I'm okay, then you should be more worried.
Sounds great though, very clean. I pulled this from a Mini Motorways stream. Again, I'm just trying to snipe out the live streams that don't have like any music or sound effects in the background. Like any, if it's nice and quiet, simple music, then I can work with that. Or if it's, and it also needs to have like pretty minimal sound effects. So any games like that, which are usually like, what I don't know, simulator games tend to be like that, and games that are more about like building stuff tend to be more about that. So those kinds of games work great for sampling, just for that reason, because it's just minimal game sounds. You want me to sample a Mario Kart stream? I'm gonna really struggle because there's just not a lot of opportunity to work around the game audio, right? Mini Motorways is perfect though. Let's see what's happening in the Adlibs channel. So this is what, this breath sound, which I play pretty frequently, and then classic. That basic, the whole idea for the song basically came from the wah. I just really wanted to make some deep tech and sample an Eno wah. I was like, I think that'd be a good fit. And I think it is a good fit. Now that I've done it, I can confidently say that I was right about that. Okay, so here's our melodics group now. This is main bass line, of course. This is probably a lot of processing, huh? This is... Holy cow. So this is... I actually have the original sample here. So what did I start with? I can't believe that's what I started with. What on earth? That is like the most unfitting bass loop for a deep tech song. Why did I listen to that and then think, yeah, let's use that? So I just chopped off the very initial... Just chopped off that little boop. And then... saturated it. Filtered out... Actually, what if I... Here, let's do something. Let me turn off all of the effects. Okay, so that's the bass in okay, apparently. So the first step, distort it. Apparently. Second step, EQ it. Next step, sidechain to the kick. Then I've got an auto filter. Okay. And the way it's moving, it kind of makes this little bleepy bubble noise too at the end, if you can hear it. Then I've got an OTT. It's cool. And then I've got an audio effect rack. What this is doing is it's splitting the signal, so I can process the low end of the bass and the high end of the bass separately. So the low end of the bass, I've singled out and I've applied an LFO to it to again move it around the kick drum, and then I've hard filtered it again. So anything above 130, 8 hertz is gone. And then the high end, I've just basically filtered out anything above 1025 hertz. Kilohertz? No, hertz. Pretty good. Then I've got this EQ. And then... Oh, okay, I guess that's it. Then I've got a recorded bass sample. I guess by recorded bass, I meant live bass, as opposed to a synth bass. That's definitely all just the same sample. I just pitched it around and made my own make my own melody again. Got a pad here that comes in sometimes. Yeah, so I've chopped this up and looped it to create a sort of melody with the pad. You can kind of hear certain rhythms loop back on themselves. It's cool. I really like what I did with that. And a piano stab. It happens sometimes. Pretty straightforward house music staple right there. And a disco hit. I made sure to use that pretty sparingly. Play that too much, it starts to get kind of exhausting to listen to. Okay, we've got our Hudson. That's from the build, where it's all filtered. And then once the build goes away and you get into the sort of drop, then the filter lifts off. What I should have done is I should have filtered it out and then re-sampled the filtered version. That way when I pitch it up, there isn't this ugly subtone. But you can't really hear it in the song anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's so dumb, man. I feel like I could spend forever working on the same song over and over and find some little detail that I should fix, because, yeah, like that would have just made the mix objectively better, but whatever. I think this might be the most interesting element in the song, so let me try to spend a bit more time on this. So this is, I've gone and made a synth solo for the song. I like never do this, so this is kind of rare. I made a synth solo, so I've got these two synths compounded together to make a sound, I guess. I don't know, really basic stuff. Like, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to synth design. I've just tabbed through different wavetables until I hear something that might sound okay, and then I stack it with something else that might sound okay, and then I just hope that processing can do all the rest. So I've got distortion here. Crystallizer is adding a chorus effect to it. Then I've got a rhythmic delay playing here, more basic filtering, and sidechaining to the kick. The actual melody is kind of gliding around because I've got this here. I've got glide 52.7, which means that notes are kind of pitch bending around when they're playing at the same time, because I'm telling the synth that two notes aren't allowed to play at the same time. So anytime there are two notes playing at the same time, like this, what it does is it pitch shifts from the lower note to the higher note. So it makes for this little bleep. So if I turn the glide off, it's not quite the same thing. But when you put the glide on, there's actually, you know, it forces the synth to kind of move from one note to the next. Should have just hired me to do the music for Sonic 3, for the Sonic Origins port. I could have nailed it, man. Very nice. And there's your key solo. So then I've gone and made this other melody that plays after that. Kind of cute. I've got the classic house organ. Can't remember the instrument. Is this a Roland or something? I can't remember. I wish I knew my organs better. I wish I just had organs. That'd be cool. Organs are one of my favorite instruments. And they're so integral to the house and disco sound as well. Like, you know, as an electronic music enthusiast, I think it'd be cool to own some old organs. Okay, there's whatever that is. Just a ping, I guess. I don't know. What did the original sample sound like? Did it sound anything like that? It sure didn't. Apparently I took a donk and turned it into this. Very nice. Ah yes, I've got this modulated chord hit over here. Very nice little wobble. Again, just a chord sample that I'm filtering around. Some pads. Not really using them as pads though, am I? Pretty cool. Oh yeah, and then there's another synth melody as well. This one's a little simpler, I guess. And just a downlifter. It plays sometimes, except it's not really a downlifter, is it? It's just a weird laser noise. It started as a downlifter, I'm sure. I dragged a downlifter sample in. Right? Let me find the original sample. What on earth? Okay, apparently I took this sample for some reason and put it in and then made this. I have no idea how that even happened. Oh yeah, I got some horns. That just play like sometimes. That's it. And then this. There it is. That's okay. That's the whole song. Okay. I hope that was satisfactory. Project file breakdowns. I'm going to try to cut this down. Hopefully it's under an hour because I feel like this is really boring. I feel sorry if you watched the whole thing and were hoping you were going to get more out of it. I don't have any tutorials or lessons for you. My music production process is very chaotic. I just find samples and just drag them in and just start stacking tons of effects on them to make them sound different. Or I just generate some basic sine waves and stack a bunch of effects on them. And then I just hope that something comes out of it. And then because the process is so chaotic and random, if you ask me how I make my music, my answer is I don't know. I just go and start dragging stuff in, and sometimes something comes out that sounds okay. That's the music production process for Hollow Bass. Sadly, I don't really have any kind of order to it, so I can't really teach you anything. I don't know how much you'll learn by looking at these project files, but anyways, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed, but thank you guys for watching, and again, I hope this was at least entertaining, if nothing else.